Good morning, ma'am. Welcome back to your session. So, hope you understood yesterday video. So, I think it's a very easy video, right? It's easy subject. So, we will continue the yesterday remain topic today in our software architecture subject. So, what we learned yesterday, ma'am? We learn about the architecture manifests the earlier set of design decisions. So, we have to decide a lot of decisions, okay, before the architecture is going to hand over to the developers. So those decisions we learn about the constraints on implementations, organizational structure, quality attributes, predicting these quality attributes, what is the reasons, how the reasons we have to check, in what perspectives whenever there is a change in the system, and evolutionary prototyping, and finally the cost and schedule estimates. So these are all the constraints, or we can say decisions we have to predict in advance before architecture is going to hand over to the developer. Right? If you are not able to decide perfectly, at least you are not able to estimate 70% of architecture, what the architecture will do for you. So your architecture have to modify, have to undergo a lot of changes in the middle of this developing. So whenever there is a need to change from bottom to top or top to bottom approach is going to use, we have to do the modifications, because one model is going to interlink with any other. So automatically all the parameters, this concept we have to change. Okay, so that is the second topic of fourth topic of our student. So after that we are going to move the third topic, that is yesterday remain topic, architecture as a transferable or reusable model. Yes, where this architecture can be useful in different ways, different people. So I have given some points here. It can share a common architecture where product lines means in any product, if you want to use, for example, take a soap. If you want to build give the architecture to manufacture a soap, okay, the architecture can only not only useful for any soap, no specific soap, but can be useful for any type of soap. Okay, so like that. Next, systems can be built using large extremely developed elements. So these developed elements can also be useful for any other purpose. Okay, next, so less is more. It pays to restrict the vocabulary of a design alternatives. Yes, see, if you want to do a project, students project, if you verify your documentation contain the same methodologies, almost same headings. Okay, a little bit modification is also there, but the vocabulary is going to be the same. Okay, so he will not give permit to change the vocabulary. It pays to restrict the vocabulary of a design alternatives. An architecture permits template based development. Of course, you can use a template. You can get any available template, and you can start developing your architecture for your purpose. It may suits or not. We have to recheck before giving or starting development. That is up to you, right? Your architecture can be a basis for training. Of course, your architecture can be useful for training also. See, if a lot of builders are going to show a common animations recording their ventures, okay, so those ventures may be getting the same or not, we don't know, but that can be useful for your architecture, right? So like this we are going to move. Yeah, so first one, just go to first one. The software product line share a common architecture. First one. Second one, so systems can build using large extremely developed elements. Third one, it pays restrict the vocabulary of design alternatives. Fourth one, an architecture permits template based development. And finally, an architecture can be basis for training also. So these are the advantages of transferring a or usable model in terms of a architecture. So we will see one by one shortly. First one, software product lines share a common architecture. Yes, software product which contain, for example, take mobile, any company mobile. Each mobile contains the same apps. Is there any deviation from that? Calendar, calculator, phone book, WhatsApp calls, or any other own contacts. Okay, maybe you can use different themes. You can use different themes. It doesn't variation, but the main theme is those apps is going to give the same service as any other apps in other mobiles. It doesn't mean any deviation from that. So software product line or family is a set of software intensive systems. They share a common managed set of features. Of course, they share a common set of features that satisfy specific needs of a particular market segment or machine. These are developed from a common set of core assets. Yes. See, if you take any mobile, say, so all mobiles are using almost Android application, Android OS. Why? It's a durability, reliability, everything is very good. So everybody is going to use Android only. Okay. Next, finally, product line architecture. Choose an architecture. Okay, that will serve all envision members of a product line. So that architecture will have to satisfy everybody. For example, if you are going to use by Python, Python is a very flexible language to any developer. Okay, he can analyze. Okay, he can analyze what the requirement and how to develop that one in a very shortcut way. If the Python implemented code is given to any tester, so there is no ambiguity in that, because all thing we have to include or included in the Python. It's very easy to test also. So like this, that stream have to continue by family persons of an architecture. Okay, so that's about what software product line share common architecture. So this is done by how we can done this, making design decisions that apply across the family early. So here also we comes under the design only, design decisions. So everything is depends upon the decisions only, no? So what is your architecture? What are your components or the elements? How they communicate each other? How they can present each other? How they can share the data? So all these aspects we have to decide in advance so that there should not any ambiguity in this. Okay, further and define. So the architecture defines what is fixed for all members. The architecture gives that overall elements, overall concepts in advance for the product line and what is variable. If there is any changes, where we have to change, we know that. Okay, see. So software product lines represent a powerful approach to multi-system dependence. So with this, what is going to effort for that? So market is going to be effect, cost is going to be effect, productivity is going to affect, and product quality is going to affect. So in order to avoid all this, first of all, what we have to do, we have to predict in advance how the architecture is going to be used or reused, or it can be transferable to any other product. Okay, so MI company is there, or Oppo company is there, by China. So that Oppo company is not only meant for one product, one mobile, but all the inside programmable methodologies are going to use for other mobiles also. So like that, it should be transferable. The architecture should be transferable or reusable. Next, system can be built using large, extremely developed elements. Of course, not only single element which can be useful for that application, but also we can use combo pack. With it, what we can do, a number of modules can develop which can be useful for any type of system, for any type of compatibility problems also it can solve. See, architecture based development often focus on composing or assembling elements, not only a single element but collection of the elements that you want to combine. Okay, developed separately, even independently from each other. That element may be separately developed or independently, but they have to provide as a combo pack. Okay, if you see the cloud computing, grid and cloud computing, the Amazon Web Service is a famous one in cloud computing, but it is providing the two features. One is for SaaS, one is for PaaS. SaaS is software as a service. Means it is going to providing the service along with they are going to provide the PaaS, product as a service. Okay, what is perform as a service? So what it means is not only it is providing the code, but also it is providing the tools and packages they want to use, not more platform as a service. Okay, for their connectivity. So they are developing all the elements which can be useful not only for one purpose but many purpose. For what? For what? See. So it constrains possible replacements or according to how they interact with their environment. Of course, even the combo package is there. They have own restrictions. So we need a converters from converting one element methodology to any other element requirement. For what? For how they receive. We have to verify how they receive because they are combo pack of multiple elements. Each element have its own features. How they receive one any other element. How the relinquish control is. What is the relinquish meaning is taking back, stopping. Okay. So how to stop? How to control this? So what data they consume and produce? What data they consume? What type of data they want to take and what type of data they want to give? We have to check in advance. Okay, how they access data, how they access data from the different elements, what protocol they use for communication and resource sharing. So what are the rules to communicate with one element as with any other element, because all the elements are not at the same but different elements are combined. Okay ma. So one key aspect of this architecture is its organization of how the element structure, the interfaces and operating concepts. So finally we came to the same point, how the elements are designed, how they want to communicate and how they want to do these responsibilities. Okay, so if all are perfectly designed, they are ready for interchangeability. They can share, they can change. Okay, they can reusable. So all this can be done with this. Third aspect. So less is more, it pays to restrict the vocabulary of design alternatives. This vocabulary, once it is defined, when we have given the names for your elements of an architecture, if you want to change, see, for example, when I am going to use a BTech, when I am going to study the BTech, doing my BTech, so I used to give a name for the program. My program is area of a triangle, but I am giving the number as a 1A. So if anybody want to open my program, they can't understood what is the program 1A. Until otherwise, they open that file, they trace the code or they will execute the code. Is it right now? So it will take long time. But if you put a program name as area of a triangle means yes, everybody can understood yes, this file is for area of a triangle. Okay, not for 1A. So this is the importance of the vocabulary you are going to use this. Okay, the vocabulary defines the responsibility of an element. We should not just give any chose value, but we should be restrict the main value. See if you see this. So properties of software design follows from the choice of architectural pattern. Yes, software design properties. The properties means the element features. What is a work of any element? For example, I want to do some juice. I want to extract a juice from the mango. That is my company. Okay, so I want to give the software in order to implement the total architecture. Right. So further, if you want to get the juice from the mango, the elements I want to define is first to filter the good mangoes. Okay. Later we have to extract the juice from the mango. Later we have to add some editing to the mangoes. Later we have to pack the mangoes. See, 4 elements are there. Every element have their own property. Right around? So based upon the property, we have to give the names to that. He is saying that. Okay. So patterns that are more desirable for a particular problem should improve the implementation of the resulting design solution. See, whenever there is a particularity of any problem definition, means you are particular for that solution means you are giving good solution. But if you are general to that solution means, of course, it can be solvable to any problem, but not in detail, high level. Okay, right? Yeah. So it is by making easier to arbitrate conflicting design constraints. So we have to check if there is any constraints into this, and we have to resolve that. Okay, ma. So and or by helping to surface inconsistencies in requirement specifications. See, once you define the names, and if you want to change, where you have to go? We have to change surface inconsistencies in requirement specifications. Means whatever data you have been gathered to specify your requirements, are not sufficient or not good. So there we have to go to the requirements, there you have to modify the requirements. Later you have to verify what you want to convey, what you want to design. Based upon that you can give the names for the your elements. Okay, so that is very very important if you want to define your names. Last but not in this, an architecture permits template based development. Of course, why not? Why not? Maybe you are not able to present your template perfectly, but you have the template in your brain. What I have to do, how they are going to interact. Okay, for example, I want to develop a software which can extract some components in an image. I have an image. Okay, that image has trees, that image have boy, that image have moon. See, all this image I want to extract. I have to identify that it is a tree, it is a boy, it is an image. Okay, in that image. So I have to extract that, right? So you can frame some concept in terms of template. Template means, yeah, this is going to be done like this, is going to be done like this. Of course, you can start with this. Of course, you can just start with it. Okay, or because it is called, can be called as prototyping model also. In software engineering subject, it is called as a prototyping model. Yes, you can develop a prototype. You can see the consequences, what result will come in a short manner. If there is any ambiguity in that, you can resolve by going back and start again in this design. Okay, yeah. Templates can be used to capture in one place inter-element interaction mechanisms. So how this can be do? What are the components? How they will communicate? If you are able to understand this, that is enough. Okay. So for instance, a template can encode the declarations for an element public area where results will be left, or what he is saying is he is saying about the public concept. Okay, once you are going to define any variable in terms of a public means, that value can be useful by any other functions. There is no restrictions in this. Okay, so that is based upon the template only. You want to define that variable as a template in terms of public. Template means, yeah, I want to start my idea. If your template contains private elements means, if you are going to declare that variable as a private, sorry, no other value can share that, no other variable can, no other class can get that, right? So you can define that and you can start your processing. If there is any problems, you can restrain and go back. Okay, and finally, an architecture can be a basis for training. Why not? Why not? See, if you go to any biological experimentation, see, we used to get some lizards or any frog to do some experimentations in biological things in science. Okay, of course you can do this product, these elements for your training also for any other people. The architecture, including a description of how elements interact to carry out the required behavior, can serve as an introduction to the system for new project members. Yes, if your architecture is perfect, you can introduce the same to any other person. Okay, but architecture should be perfect. I repeat, means the template you are going to prepare should be perfect. Means the interaction you are going to give the elements should be perfect. Means the elements you are going to define, their responsibility should be perfect. Means identifying your requirements is very very important. Means the problem statement should be perfect. I just went back from here to back. Okay, so one is interlinked with another, one is dependent on another. So that is the importance of this concept. Okay, it's a simple issue. So if your architecture is perfect, you can give for training also. Right, ma? So that is the end of the fourth concept in our first chapter. Our next topic is architectural structures and views. Okay, so these concepts explain about, see, for example, I am just using my camera. Okay, just I am using my camera to convey, to show my face, to convey to you. What I am just seeing the camera is, my camera is not a built-in camera. I got some problem with the built-in camera, so I used some USB camera with some company Frontech. Okay, so when I am saying that Frontech camera, my visibility is on some circles are there. At the left side I have 3 lights, right side I have 3 lights, at the middle I have a small circle is there. From there it is capturing my face, my features, my motions, etc., etc. Okay, so this is structure of a outside camera or external camera, I can say. Then, so what is your structure for architecture? If you want to define anything in architecture, how can you define your structure? What are the elements it contains, basically? So in the last class or before last class, I said about the architecture contains lines, the architecture contains characters, the architecture contains the connectivities in terms of bidirectional lines. Okay, it is for only pictorial representation in terms of lines and boxes. But what about your real architecture or structure? Okay, so in the DBMS we used to use a word called as template only, or it is system design. No. Some word is there. What is it? Instance. Yes, instance. What is an instance, ma'am? A particular instance. How many rows we have? How many columns we have? What is the name of the DBMS? What is that? We can say file, DBMS file, or okay. So that is an instance particular time. View is how many on what we want to present, how watch data you want to extract. Okay, so like this here also the architecture structures and views are going to discuss in this very easy topic, ma, but little bit we have more headings here also, just we have to check it out, that's it. See, so the author want to convey by using the human body, so in the human body a lot of doctors have have their own specifications regarding this human body treatments. The neurologist, orthopedist, hematologist and dermatologist all have a different view of the structure of the human body, right? Now if you see, so some ophthalmologist, cardiologist and pedicurists concentrate on subsystem, internal subbodies, and although these views are pictured differently, have their very different properties, all are inherently related. How they are related? By using human body only. How they are related? For human body only. As human body contains different parts, these are all the structures. For every structure they have their own view. Maybe the person is a human being. As he is a neurologist, he just concerned about the neurons only. As he is an orthopedist, he is concerned about the bones only. Okay, right. Together they describe the structure or architecture of a human body. I missed a Y here, sorry. Okay, so that is architecture. So here we have three type of architecture structures now. One is a module, next is a component or character. Module is our element. Connecting and inside element the components or responsibilities. Finally the allocation, what you want to make it that component to work. Okay, so it is the three components. We will study one by one. Three broad types of decisions that architectural design involves. What they involve? First, how is the system to be structured as a set of code units, the elements? What is your elements to code? Modules. How these structured elements that have runtime behavior, means how they interact with each other in terms of components and in terms of interactions. Next, how is the system to relate to non-software structures? So not only our software is enough to execute any architecture, but also the software have to store in hardware devices, they have to transfer to the in terms of network connectivity. So all this one is dependence on another. Okay, so the dependency is going to verify here. So what are your main components, what are your functionality of the components, how they will interact, how your elements is going to be interact with any other irrelevant components. Okay, so this is going to discuss in this, so I will discuss about this in the next class. It is taking long. Okay, So I will discuss the next class. Till then, have a nice day. Bye.